Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Latinas Unboxed. Today, as you can see, we're with all our girlies again today, and we'll be talking about different issues that we face within our community. This week, we are talking about stereotypes versus reality, and as you can see, we have a new face. You can introduce yourself, girl.
Hi guys, my name is Adela and I'm from Buenaventura, Colombia, and I study human resources and business management.
So guys, I'm going to dive straight into it. As you know, being Latina, we do face different types of stereotypes. One being a specific one that I wanted to talk about is the glamorization of our reality of the cartel. The cartel stuff that go a lot in South America, especially Colombia, where we're all from. So just wanted to kind of see if you guys find it offensive or you do understand that it's a reality.
Well, a bit of both though.
Yeah.
I find it very offensive because no, not all of us are like that. But in the same breath, it's an unfortunate reality that we as Colombians do face and have in our country.
I think it's also been glamorized by a lot of, TV shows, novelas, everything. So the thing is, it becomes the one thing that we are predominantly associated with. So, as soon as I say to someone, oh, I'm Colombian, the
Pablo Escobar.
But more like, oh, can your uncle hook me up with some?
Like, you have the good stuff.
And that there's so many much more positive things 100%. About Colombia, but it's always that gets the focus.
The problem with me also, like, as well as it's glamorized, I feel like the reason why it's also glamorized is because not all these shows show the truth. So I've had to lead a lot of people from watching Narcos to actually go watch Pablo Escobar, El Patrón de Mal, because that way they can see the difference in the actual honesty of what negative stuff going behind that, because they see it as this cool good thing. He had money, but he was also much more than just having money. He had a lot of terrible things going on that people actually aren't always aware of. So they glamorize it without knowing the real history and the story behind
we created
the
a war
cartels.
in our country that to this day we're still trying to get out of. Like, there's still mines being found to this
It was
very
so recent.
day.
It's so recent and people forget
recent.
about it.
Exactly.
And you see people dressing up their kids
As
Pablo
Escobar
Escobar or something. And it's so wrong. That's someone who hurt millions of families. Like,
that's the thing. It's like he's the one that gets glamorized, and actually a lot of the time you forget about the stories behind, like, the families who've gone through displacement and who've lost loved ones because of all the drug trafficking and the narco wars and stuff. Like, there's so much pain behind that, but you don't hear so much about the normal civilians. You just hear about
the lifestyle.
Well, in the 80s, a lot of I don't know if anybody else, but I know, like, my parents left Colombia in and around that time of when Pablo Escobar was very rife, and there was the drug cartel war happening from Medellin and the Cartel de Cali and so on and so forth, and they had to flee because, I mean, we can talk about this for days and days and days, but it is very unfortunate that people don't actually take the time to do the proper research on what it is that cartels and the drug trafficking lifestyle and how it affects our people in our country and worldwide, and also that stigma that follows us as Colombians, because I can only speak as a Colombian, how it follows us everywhere we go. And like you said, when I say, oh yeah, I'm Colombian or I'm from Colombia, it's like, oh yeah, it's like, you got that good stuff, or exactly, can you hook me up or whatever. When Colombia has so many beautiful things to offer. Our coffee is one of the best coffee in the world. Our gold, our women, like, come on, there's so much. Our football, Shakira, like, we've got so many beautiful things that everything about Colombia, and I will always be so patriotic to the very, very end. Drugs, Pablo Escobar does not define us.
No, 100%.
In terms of, like, what's been portrayed, like, on TV, in the media and stuff, it's like this kind of lifestyle is being glamorized. Oh, you get the money, you get the women, you get the best guns, you get las fincas grandes, las casas grandes, los carros grandes, and it's just like, because there's so much poverty in Colombia, the young lot are obviously going to look up to that. And they're like, I need to get my family out from this. And that's the only way. There's not like, different people in different professions saying, like, hey, you guys can have money by studying, by
Having
educating
education.
yourself, by working hard. It's like, no, this is the fastest way, and you guys can do it like this.
Some people don't have a choice in our community, and that's where I feel like people don't understand that. Like, they don't have a choice. Some of them, like, they from the partes más pobres, like,
campesinos.
and
it's like
they have to do.
Like, there's a situation in Buenaventura going on right now where there's two gangs fighting against each other. But then again, this is a situation that's been going on for so long, and the government of Colombia is not paying no attention to what's going on in Colombia. Buenaventura, you know, is a Puerto de Colombia. We distribute all the deliveries in Colombia, around Colombia, but yet again, we are entitled to only 20% of the earnings of that. We've been completely abandoned whatsoever. And this is it. This is what they're saying. Youngsters in Colombia, they don't have any education system, so it's easier for them to just turn into cartel life because it's easier. That's all they have.
There's no opportunity.
No opportunity.
And it's so sad because we, like, when we come from UK, like, British people they're not Colombian, they don't know. They depend on media to educate them. And the media only represents us in such a negative way. Like you said, there's so much more important things, but the glamorization of narcos, especially, it shows everyone like, oh yeah, Pablo Escobar had so much control. He literally controlled the government. Do you know what I mean? But in the meantime, there was people getting killed and bombed. And my grandma, actually, when Pablo Escobar bombed El Tiempo, my grandma's office was right next to it, and my mum tells me the story. So whenever someone says to me, Pablo Escobar, I get so angry. It's like pure anger, you know. It's like, you're such a dick. I'm like, it's such a prick. It's such a dumb and naive. Ignorance.
But some of our families have actually faced big lifestyles. Because I know personally from my family as well. I'm not going to dig too deep into it, but that's something where I've lost loved ones, and that's a reality. So like you said, I get angry.
It's the same with my grandma. You know, she had a knock on the door one day, and they said, you know, you have to give us your kids tomorrow. We're taking them. So she fled overnight and she left.
Another stereotype I also wanted to dig into is us women, the stereotype that we get of just either being the help. That's one of the stereotypes. Or the other stereotype is also the fact that all we have to offer is our breasts and our bum and us, like, all that stuff. So that as a woman also really, really irritates me. I don't know how your feelings are towards it, if you find it offensive or...
Oh, definitely. Like, I've had it plenty of times, and I mean, it's not such a huge issue people might think, but it really, really affects me. For example, when you meet a guy, right, and you start on the dating scene or whatever, and they're like, oh, you're Colombian, or where's your accent? And it's like, excuse me, sorry. And they have these expectations of you from the get-go, or like how you are in bed, or you must be such a good cook, all of these.
The freak one is a number one thing, though. I don't know.
That's
what
actually
it is.
really, really rude.
It's really rude. We've been fetishized.
And
the thing is, with that, I think I'm going to put my hands up, and I've definitely played on it. Like I have, and that's me being completely honest. But then now I know the reasons behind it, and I'm just like, do you know what? Being Latina is not a personality trait. It's not something that I should come in and be like, hi guys, I'm Latina. I'm the way that I am. And I'm Colombian as fuck, and I'll talk in my accent because I'm proud of who I am, not because I'm like trying to get a guy, or it's because I'm trying to live up to that stereotype. But for a very, very long time growing up, I did like clock onto the attention I would get like that, and I'd be like, okay, well, I know how to play it now. But now actually like digging deep into where that came from, we're more than that.
We're not the fashion pieces. We're not trophies. You know, we are intelligent, beautiful women, and I think that's where it kind of gets taken out of context with a lot of men, not just Latin men, but men in general. My partner isn't Latino, but as I was saying earlier, you know, he's never made me feel like I'm a piece of meat, whereas a lot of men I've dated in the past have always made me feel like I am a piece of meat because I am Colombiana.
And also with the men that aren't Latino, sorry, just to go off on your point, they always feel like Latinas are of like a superior, and it's just like, no, don't think that I'm telling you that I'm Colombian, I'm devaluing other women, because that is not it at all.
I had exactly that experience happen to me where this guy thought I was Asian, and then he found out that I was Latina, I was Colombian, and he said, ooh, you just became so much sexier.
Like, exactly. And you just became so much uglier.
another question I did want to ask you guys is if you have experienced these stereotypes within your workplaces or just personal life experiences in relationships, like we've already said.
Well, for me, I haven't had that experience. People do love to ask, "Oh, where are you from?" Because of the curly hair and the skin tone. They're always confused. They can't pinpoint where I'm from. So when I do say, "Oh, I'm Colombian," it's like, "Oh my gosh, really? I would have never guessed." But I haven't had like bad experiences like in regards of like obviously the rest of you guys. In school, I can say yes, it was me. I went to an all-girls school, so it's different to all boys. The Latin boys that I knew, they would forever get this whole Pablo Escobar conversation. They will talk about the whole, "Oh, can your uncle hook me up?" all that type of like conversation. With me, I didn't experience that in my school. It was just like, "Oh my gosh, you're Colombian," and that was it.
But
I just get the whole fiery stuff, and it's like I laugh because yes, I do have a certain attitude, but it doesn't mean because I'm Latina
that's everyone that's like that.
Everyone has an attitude. I'm fiery, great, I'm happy with
But
it.
do you think that people didn't really categorize you in that because they didn't know that you were Colombian? So then that's a problem within itself, that really? People don't actually understand
how different we are.
We have
Latinas and Colombians come in all
and it's huge what
shades.
you're saying. Yeah, 100%. It's huge what you're saying because it's that. The fact that I was not classed as a Colombian, it's just like, "Oh, you're mixed race, oh, you're Jamaican, oh, you're from Cuba," but you would never hear Colombia. It's like, I have to be the last one. No, guys, okay, forget it. I'm Colombian. And it's just like, we'll never get there. Like, I get every single country but that. And I'm just like, whoa, what is going on? And then when I've dropped it, it's like, "Oh my gosh, really?" And I'm like, yeah.
Because you shouldn't be so excited about that.
Yeah.
From Colombia.
One thing also that's really nice though, that not everything always has to be negative as well.
Yeah,
the stereotypes, and you haven't really had to face that. Whereas me in my industry, in the acting industry, in that world that we live in, or even just the influencing world as well, I feel like it's both positive but negative, because in the acting world it's positive because there's not many of us that do the acting thing, but then it's also a negative because you get typecasted into the same damn roles every single time.
There's just not enough opportunity.
No, there's the Latina trope, which Sofia Vergara does very well, and she's made she's made lots of money from playing that stereotype.
But it doesn't help.
But it doesn't help. It doesn't help. That's the problem.
No, exactly. And it's the same with like that. I was talking about this earlier with what's her name?
Desperate Housewives.
Eva Longoria has worked really hard to try and displace that, and she does so much. She's a philanthropist. She's incredible. And I saw a quote the other day from Rita Moreno, who is like one of our first Latin actors, and she said, and I know everyone is gonna like put me on blast for this, but we can't have J-Lo be our only representative.
No, you're
That's what Rita Moreno said. She said, "I know that everyone's going to say that I hate J-Lo, but it's not that at all. It's that we can't have J-Lo be our single icon. Because there's so much.
And it's the typical ones that we look up to, like as in the ones that have played the stereotypes. I feel like those are the ones that are more glamorized, where you forget where we've been, where other Latino actors have actually been in different series or different films, and you won't actually even know that they're not Latino. Sometimes I'm watching a movie with my partner or some of my friends, and they're like, and I'll tell them, "Oh, you know, he's Latino, or he's from this area, or this." They're like, "Oh, wow," because they instantly just think it's J-Lo, it's Cardi, it's Sofia Vergara, or like Ava Mendes when she's on Will Smith, the Hitch. So it's like because there's not enough representation as well. We also get that stereotype when in our industry.
And like Tara said about the opportunities, I feel like unfortunately for the ones that want to be actresses, and I go for women because obviously I'm a woman myself, because we have the Cardi B's and all these other artists. Unfortunately, you lot have it a lot harder because it's like you have to be so sexualized and try and be like a Cardi B to have these opportunities, and it makes it seem like, and this is how, and it's my personal opinion before everyone starts jumping on my case, it's like we don't have a brain. Like if we don't have boobs, or we don't have arse, or our bodies ain't a certain way, or we don't talk about sex non-stop, we don't have an opportunity to do anything else. It's like I have to sit there and talk about dick, oh, sex, oh, stop twerking. And it's like, yo, I'm more than that. I can do a lot more.
Do you
And
know
it's
what's so
difficult.
funny? Before I started the brand, I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I really wanted to get into modelling. And then I remember I went to some casting. He was just like, "Yeah, do you mind like being a bit more exotic?"
You
I'm like,
see?
"Bend down." I'm like,
Why?
But more exotic. What does that mean to you?
Because they have the stereotype of the Latina,
Yeah.
they instantly make us think that we need to be like that.
Can I just say, sorry to cut you, now that we are like coming into these spaces and like taking up a bit more, we can bring everybody in, and I think it's really
100%.
important to like not be a hater.
Yes.
Like that's the best way.
Camera, please.
No, I can
Don't be a hater.
Yes.
bring people in. Bring. No hateration, por favor, okay? No hateration for the nation or the reputation, okay? Por favor, gente. Bring people in, and it's not like it's only you that can be at the top. Like many of us can be there together, and we can. When we work together, we can all take up spaces, and we can all be seen for what we actually are.
There's not enough of us wanting to do
But
these
there will
things.
be, because
But
this
you
is
know
the whole
what?
point of this.
there's a program called The Startup. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime, and the lead actress is Cuban. And she's like very tomboyish, and she's all about starting a cryptocurrency. You know, I'm a bit of a geek,
I love it.
But it was amazing, like her whole story and everything. And there was all these articles, but in Latin America, and there's an American series. It was all these articles saying, yeah, like a full Latin cast, like she's a lead female role, but she's not cleaning. She's actually built $1 billion business. That's what it's all about. But it's not spoken about. But things like this, that once something happens, we need to speak about it, celebrate it.
Yeah.
And
Can we also touch on the other stereotype that we persistently get? J-Lo from The Maid from Manhattan. That role made her, and it's like then we've all been seen like that after that. It's a positive because she got more like pursuing into her acting career, but it's also something that we are constantly seen as like the clean.
But it is kind of our reality, though.
Yeah.
In the morning, like if you're in Colombia or if you've grown up in a Colombian household, what you're doing is a limpiar, mija.
Can I just say as well, I mean, yeah, that's the funny part of it and how we've been raised, but very proudly I will say, and my mum will even say it as well, she came to this country and because of her language barrier, all she could do was clean.
Exactly.
And to this day, my mum is a very much proud cleaner.
She
has her own cleaning company. So it's one of those things that she did that, and she always said to me, Vanessa, I do this, yo limpio mierda, so that you
can have
a better life.
opportunity.
So,
Yeah.
do you understand? So now our generation, I'm first generation, I don't know about you guys, but as first generation, I will be better, and I will do better to make her proud, but also to make our people proud, to keep our name as Latinos and as Colombians and as Colombian women at that high standard, and show our children that are coming up and the younger generation that, you know what, you don't have to go into gangs, you don't have to go into drugs, you don't have to be cleaners, you don't have to be like overly sexualize yourself to be somebody.
For real.
And you can do so much more.
And that's the thing, I don't see it as a negative because
Absolutely
I think
not.
every single one on this panel, our parents have had to clean in this
Yes.
country.
Yo
And that's even what I'm saying, well, even some of us. Therefore, like, it's not a negative because that's what our parents work so hard to provide the things that we have till this day. Cleaning taught me to be grateful, not me cleaning myself, but my mum used to wake up at 4 in the morning, every morning, and come back at like what time, like in the afternoon. Just because she was working 2 jobs, because
So then
she
go
was
back out
also
in the evening,
a single mother with 3 children.
Yeah.
So it taught me, like when I was growing up, I used to be like,
resilience.
why is my mum not home? Why is my mum never with us? But then now when I'm at this age, I'm like, the gratitude I have towards that, it makes me emotional. Like,
Yeah.
because it teaches you to really value and
appreciate.
appreciate what you have and the opportunities that we have and our
Yes.
parents have given us.
100%.
And it teaches you humildad.
Yeah.
Right, I was just about to
Humility,
say.
and to be humble.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Humble.
teaches you to be humble and to be grateful, and like no one you're not better than anyone.
Right.
No one is better than you.
Can you just say that again, please?
No one is better than you, and you are not better than anyone.
Right.
Subtitles. I was gonna say as well. It's like
real.
it's like the small things. I'm a humble person. I'm nice to everyone, whether you're a cleaner, homeless person. I don't care.
For real.
I've got a good heart. But it's like going into work in an office and seeing the Colombian cleaners or the Latino cleaners, and I'm like, "¿Qué más? ¿Cómo está? Like, ¿qué necesita? Are you okay?" Like, just having a conversation with them, because, like you said, I'm not better than you because I work in this office. You work in this office too, and you deserve the same respect that I'm gonna get when I walk through these doors.
I did that in my uni. In my uni, the majority of the cleaners, they were actually Colombians, and people just used to walk past them. I used to say hello, have conversations because I started doing that, and obviously my friends would follow to say hello. All of a sudden, people knew, oh, that's so and so, and then they felt so. I had one dude. He actually, well, funny enough, my dad's friend. He walked towards me, and he was like, gracias, mija. And I was thinking, like, gracias, ¿por qué? Because he overheard, like, we was in a studio, so I did dance, right? And I was so angry because my colleagues would just leave, like, bottles and crisp packets in the studio. And I'm just thinking, like, just because there's a cleaner does not mean you cannot pick up your stuff and put it in the bin.
Another stereotype which I do love, and I have to just, like, reinforce, is when you do say you're Colombian, people do react positively, and they're like, "Oh my god, I've been," or "I really want to go,"
Your
or
country's so beautiful.
your people are so happy. People are so happy. That's what I love.
That's the thing. Like,
We are the happiest country. Voted one of the happiest countries, if not the happiest, like 1 year. But this is the thing, like,
as well.
super patriotic. We have so much to offer, and I think it's infectious. Like when we're around people love to be around us. You see people wearing our football shirts. It's when Colombia,
not Colombia.
when Colombia comes to the UK.
Oh my
That
god.
Can I just say, I got to, like, if you know, I was excited when that ran onto the pitch, but the one thing that I heard the whole steward saying when I got put to the side, pulled to the side, they all said to me, I love when Colombia plays in the stadium. The passion, the fire, like the love, everything. Like. So I actually like holding that. I like holding that patriotism, and I just love it.
Do you know what, as well? It's like when I put on social media, obviously, pre-COVID, because nobody's raving anymore. But like even like that Latin raves and then my house parties are like, oh my god, please can I come to your family house parties? And I'm like, this is literally us like on a weekly basis. Like people are like, what are you celebrating? Tuesday. And that's what it is. Our culture, our music, our food, like it's all so happy and
loving,
infectious.
We're very loving people.
Yes, very welcoming.
Very welcoming.
And I think as time goes on, we become progressive. And
if you've never been to our country,
go.
Thank you for watching. If you have anything to share about this episode, about these topics that we've been speaking about, make sure you comment below. I'll also leave the ads of all these lovely ladies in the description below, so make sure you follow and support us and our businesses. And visit Colombia. Visit Colombia if you have not been. But we will see you on our next episode. Bye.
Ciao.